The Sacrifice of Alcestis, Chapter 11. Chapter 11. Meanwhile the funeral procession was coming back along the highway. As they came into the city each man departed to his own house. Only Admetus with his near friends and kinsmen returned to the palace to celebrate the funeral feast. Whilst they were waiting for the feast to be prepared, Admetus stayed outside alone in the court. He sat down on one of the stone seats beneath the colonnade, and buried his face in his hands. He could not bring himself to go into the house, where everything would remind him of the wife he had lost, the chair in which she used to sit, empty now. The fire on the altar burning low, and the ashes scattered about, because she was there no more to feed the dying flames. The full force of the sacrifice came home to him now, and he shuddered as he thought of the deed he had done. I have slain her whom I loved, to save myself from death, because I loved my life, and hated to go to the dark world below. Woe is me, he cried. The sun is turned to darkness and the earth to Hades since she went away. I grasped at the substance, and all the while I followed after a shade. Fool that I was to upbraid them who refused to die for me and cast her death in their teeth. She is dead, dead, slain by my hand alone. Nevermore can I look my people in the face, nor glory in the deeds I have done. The shame of my cowardice will blot them all out, and I shall slink like a cur among my fellows. Would that I had died with her. Thus he sat making fruitless moan. His friends came out and tried to comfort him and bring him into the house, but he sent them away, and would not go in. All the evening he sat there alone till darkness began to fall. At length he felt a heavy hand laid upon his shoulder, and, looking up, he saw Heracles standing beside him. Why couldst thou not trust me, Admetus? He asked. All thy household, all the city, knew that thy wife Alcestis was dead. Me only, thy familiar friend, didst thou keep in ignorance. I had thought to stand beside thee in thy sorrow, and thou didst not even tell me of it. I was ashamed, answered Admetus. Well, well, what is done cannot be undone. There is but one way now that thou canst prove thou art still my friend. After I had eaten, I walked out across the fields, and came upon a place where the people were holding games and giving rich prizes to the winners. Horses and oxen, and a fair woman to the best man of all. When I saw the woman I determined to win her. So I entered for the contest and beat all my rivals. The woman I have brought back with me now, and beg of thee to keep her till I come back from the wild Thracian folk, for I cannot take her with me there. If by any chance I should never come back, but meet my fate away, I give her to thee to keep for thyself. I have brought her with me now to give into thy care. As he spoke, he led forward by the hand a woman who had been standing near him. She was closely veiled, so that Admetus, when he glanced up at her, could not see her face, but only the outline of her form. Oh, take her away, he cried. In height and figure she is like my wife, and I cannot bear to look upon her. I would do much for thee, my friend, but ask not this of me. No woman shall ever live in my house again. Take her to some other of thy friends. In spite of all Heracles could say, he refused to take her. I see that thou wouldst no more be my friend, Admetus, he said at last. First thou wilt not tell me of thy sorrow, and now thou wilt not do this little thing for me. I will go and trouble thee no more with my friendship. At this Admetus was cut to the quick. Ah, say not that. Thou knowest that I love thee, but this is a hard thing thou askest. Whenever I look at her I shall be reminded of my wife. And the tongue of slander will not be silent. Men will say that I take comfort, and have forgotten the woman who gave her life for mine. Nevertheless, if thou wilt have it so, I yield. Take the woman in, or let one of the servants show her the way. Nay, said Heracles, to thee alone will I trust her. She is fair and noble, and I would not have her treated as a common woman. And he forced Admetus to take her by the hand. Now I know that thou wilt treat her honorably, thou mayst look upon her face, he said, and lifted up the veil which shrouded her. When Admetus saw her face, he fell back terrified, for, pale and beautiful, scarce looking as though she breathed, Alcestis stood before him. Ye gods, he gasped, the spirit of my wife. Nay, said Heracles, but her very self. Thou mockest, it cannot be. It is no mockery, as who should know better than I who won her? Said Heracles. By Zeus, I have wrestled many a tough match, but never a one so tough as this, the gods be praised. I have met death face to face, and I hope I may never have to stand up against him more. Ah, my friend, how can I thank thee? I have not deserved so much joy, cried Admetus, and fell on his knees before them. I thought not of thy deserts, but of hers, said Heracles. Come, take her in. I dare not touch her. Ah, lady, canst thou love one who sent thee to thy death? He asked, with head bowed down before her. She answered him never a word, but held out both her hands and raised him from his knees, and he looked deep into her eyes, and found them full of love. Tenderly and humbly he put his arm about her and led her away, and felt that, if anything on earth could ever raise him from the depths of selfishness and meanness to which he had fallen, it would be the boundless, measureless love of the woman before him. Now to change the funeral feast to a banquet of rejoicing, cried Heracles. Truly, I could eat an ox after this last bout of mine.